Welcome to the Michigan Gone Wild podcast, where we cover everything Michigan and wild, from hunting and fishing to popular and controversial topics around the state and country. Let's get to it.
This deer is one of 1,000. You do not see deer that sold very often. They don't make it this long. This is a mature deer.
I just shot the biggest buck I ever had in Michigan. King. Look at that frickin' brute. He's a brute.
Yes. Got her looking pretty good in here, dude.
Yeah, it's not bad. I got the deer hanging up. I got a couple of plaques, and looks like a little bit of a studio now, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not bad.
Love that old double white patch.
Yeah.
What'd you do? Put a map up? Where'd you get that?
I don't know where I got that. It's just a Pigeon River forest. I mean, that's the same map you see at the gas stations and stuff. You know what I mean?
I don't see them at the gas station.
You don't see those at the
Headquarters.
gas station?
We got them at headquarters.
Yeah.
Really?
You know, I was telling Alvin, I think it was you I was telling, right?
You went into the
I
headquarters?
just went into the headquarters building for the first time ever. You ever been in it?
Nope.
Go in it. It's pretty
Are you
cool.
serious? You've never been in there?
No, I've never been in there.
It's open all the
It's
time.
pretty cool. I mean, they call it the Discovery Center, but yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, never been in there.
Yeah. I forgot the lady that runs it. She's a little sweetheart.
Yeah, there's two girls that were working in there. They're
Yep.
both real nice.
Yep.
I had two people of them come out when I was walking the parking lot,
Oh, did you?
going bow hunting.
Yeah. Like, where are you going?
What you doing?
What are you doing?
I said I was allowed
Park right here.
to walk this certain road. I just ain't allowed to go that way.
It's a perfectly good parking spot. Why wouldn't I park here?
That was that year I was chasing that buck, kind of in that area, and that's the one our dad's found on the river dead.
Yeah.
Was that where I was at? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was a good buck.
Didn't you try going in the backside at that one field?
Mhm.
Yeah, you sat there one day. It was after the deer drive.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the year after they found that.
Oh, okay.
I chased that buck for that whole bow season. Never got a chance with him.
So we know who shot it.
We do.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Yeah,
know
they
it.
shot it, never found it.
I didn't know who it was.
Yeah. I won't say his name, but
Yeah.
I'll tell you after. But yeah, we know
I didn't know.
who
Nobody
shot it,
told
and
me.
they tracked it.
Do you have a rough idea how far it went from where he shot it?
It didn't go. He said they were hunting the field,
Yeah.
and it didn't go.
It would have been to the east, like a mile and a half. Yeah.
Remember where we shot the squirrel? Where I missed the squirrel?
Yeah.
A couple weekends
Yeah.
ago. Just south of that.
Oh, okay.
Just south of
Yeah.
that.
They do like the bed
right
in there.
right in a spot that you wouldn't expect to see a deer like that standing during gun season.
Was on the east or the west side of the river, south from there. 'Cause Aaron used to hunt just to the south. He used to bow hunt there back in
Yeah.
we're early
Dude.
20s.
Yeah.
This was
2000s.
in one of the big elk viewing fields.
Yeah.
Is where they.
I think I
shot
know which
it.
one you're talking about.
Yeah.
There's a green gate there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can walk back in there. Gets you
Yeah,
close to
but
the
you
river.
can literally see it from the road.
Yeah, okay,
It's,
okay.
it's the big
Yeah.
one. You're driving down the road and you can see the whole field right from the road.
Now I'm trying to wonder if that's
It would
the one that
be
I'm thinking
east
of.
of the river,
East of the river.
across the road, one road crossing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I was thinking of the same area, but just different. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Banner, you need to settle down.
And we don't know for sure that was the same buck, but I do know that they shot
They shot
good
one,
one.
never found
a
it.
real big buck
Then couldn't
standing
find
in
You
that field.
never. So it was the one that was
and they
hanging
tracked it.
at their old cabin, my dad's old cabin. It was
Uh-huh.
the one hanging up above the door.
I don't. I never
was-
went there.
No,
No,
It's like a 125-inch buck.
nice buck.
that's a good buck for up here.
Yeah,
It's a
I had,
really good buck
I
for
had a
up
bunch of pictures of them.
yeah, maybe even 130. He was
here. Yeah.
kind of tight, but like really good tine length. All his tines were really long.
Yeah. Well, digger.
Right in the river, dead.
Mm.
Normally, when you're next to river,
God, I hate
lakes,
that.
streams, it's usually like one of the gives, like, hey, I'm gonna go walk the river just in case I see them. You know what I mean?
They do.
What are
Tend, when they
kinda-
get hit, they do tend to go towards the river.
right.
Yeah.
Where'd the big one die?
He died. Oh no, yeah. I mean, he was near a little creek, yeah, yeah. He wanted to be up in there, but he was up in all those boulders and everything. Where Tony found him, like you couldn't physically hunt there. It's so thick. Like you couldn't get in a tree and like observe. It's so thick.
Yeah.
I've went up in that drainage quite a bit, and there's just nowhere good to hunt.
Yeah.
It's so thick. Anywho, so I wanted to kind of break out into talking about hunting from a saddle versus a tree stand versus a platform blind or a pop-up, whichever you prefer. Now, Jake, you've dove into the saddle hunting game pretty hard.
Yeah, pretty much. I guess I sit in the beast stand once in a while, but not a bunch.
Yeah.
Like I pretty much just hunt out of a saddle for bow hunting and mostly rifle hunting too out of a saddle now.
Yeah.
And I'll say, like, I was completely
against it.
Like, I never in a million years would have ever thought about it.
I think that's where I'm at. It's like,
I couldn't picture it in my head, I'm like, this just doesn't seem like it would work, and it was weird at first, but once I got it down, it was like everything about it I liked better. It was tricky, like getting the right camera set up, the right camera arm, and getting that all figured out. Once you have the right setup, it's great, because you don't have to. When you're filming, like in a tree stand, you either got to bring the camera behind your back at times or try and wrap it all the way around you. Mm-hmm. You don't have to do that from a saddle. It's always
out in front of you,
in between you and the tree. Mm-hmm. The worst case scenario, you got to wrap it around this side of the tree or this side of the tree. That's as far as you got to go with it.
Yeah. So that's probably the biggest learning curve for you as far as, because obviously most people that go out there hunting, they're just hunting. But like us with camera gear, that's probably the biggest hurdle is how do you film from that situation? Mm-hmm. Self-film.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? And
one nice thing is you can get away with a smaller camera arm.
Yeah.
You don't want a big camera arm.
Right.
Because then you can't, the tree's here, you're here. You have to have a shorter arm so you can swing it between you and the tree without having to like force yourself back,
Yeah.
I tried with I forget what camera arm it was.
Didn't you try the Lone Wolf custom gear one I had?
No, I haven't tried that one. I wanted to try that one.
My brother has that if you want to try it.
I started with that Fourth Arrow
triple arm.
We ordered them together.
Yes.
And that was too big. It was too much.
Yeah.
I took one of the arms off from that and turned it into a double arm. Yep. And that's what I've used ever since.
And that's what you're using. That's what you used all season.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, I've been kind of tussling back for that. You guys know I busted out the Latitude saddle a couple times last year for bow hunting, just trying to get acclimated to it. And I did the year before too. And I'll be honest with you, like I wish I had more time to kind of figure it out. And I'm going to do that this summer. I'm going to get in a tree and I'm going to figure out that process, cuz I really like the idea of the saddle for a quick, like, I got 2 hours left of the day to hunt. And run in there. I know exactly what tree I'm going to. I have it set up.
Yeah.
And just climb up in the tree, tie in, and you're good to go.
Honestly, I think it's more comfortable hunting out of a saddle than it is a tree stand.
Do you think you could sit in it all day?
100%. I've done it. Yeah.
See, I don't know if I could.
You could. Guarantee you can.
I love sitting in a tree stand, though.
Yeah, I've tried the Latitude a couple times the year before. I didn't do it this year, but I'm just old school. That whole sitting in a tree stand.
Yeah.
Well, the bee stand, I could sit in that all day.
Yes.
So just the thought of sitting in a saddle all day, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm more comfortable in it as far as sitting. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm way more comfortable. Like, I can take a nap in it. You know.
Did you end up getting a platform for it?
Yeah, I did. So I got the profile,
Okay.
latitude profile.
Okay.
And I
How
like
big?
it a
How
lot.
big is that roughly?
I don't know. It's probably like that.
Yeah.
It's not the wing style one. What's that, like the X-wing or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yep.
believe so.
The profile is just more of like a uniform shape.
Yeah.
It's got, it kind of bends down at the end to where your feet sit nice on it.
Yeah.
I like it a lot. And that's the only platform I've tried. So I don't know. Maybe there's better ones. Not
Yeah,
sure.
maybe.
But
I have.
Right.
I think when the season started, not last year, but the year before, so 23, I went out and got that Hawk one. And I wasn't a huge fan of it, but I was kind of like, all right, I'm not gonna go invest in like this $250 platform for saddle hunting if I don't even know if I'm gonna like saddle
Right.
hunting.
yeah.
And in 23, I think I used that Latitude saddle. That's the Method 2, right? That's the Method
Yes.
2. Okay.
Yeah.
I used it, I don't know, like 2 or 3 times during bow season and 2 times during gun season. And then this year I used it twice during bow season here in Michigan. I took the B stand with me down to Ohio. And I think next year, the majority of my setups, I'm going to try tailoring to a saddle. Because, I mean, you think about it, like, in my mind, going from a tree stand to a saddle is like, all right, how do I have to set this thing up to open up the windows for shooting? Like, because, with a saddle, you're hanging, you got the tree in front of you. You can't shoot through the tree. So you got to be able to wrap around the tree. Versus a tree stand, your back's to the tree stand. And you're hunting, 270 degrees out in front of you. And there's nothing in the way. But how many times have you been sitting in a tree stand and something comes from behind you? You know what I mean?
So the way I've found out, like hunting out of a saddle, you can shoot 360.
See, I have a hard time figuring out how you do that.
You just got to spend time in it, because when you first get in it, like when I first got in it, I felt like all I could shoot was right here.
Yeah. That's what I'm picturing.
Like it feels like you're sitting, when you first start doing it, you feel like you're sitting in a tree stand. Mm-hmm. And you think you're stuck right there.
Yeah.
But I mean, once you have a platform that you like and you can trust it and like get out on the platform and use it as like a peg almost, you can have 1 foot off the platform, 1 foot on it, and you can swing way around the tree. Like, say you're facing the tree like this, you can swing way out around this way. You can completely spin around, so that your rope's like across your chest and shoot all the way behind you.
That's how you shot your Illinois buck, right? It was completely backwards.
Yeah. So I spun all the way around, because I was sitting here. The tree was here. The deer came from right here. He walked right down my right side, and then when I finally decided to shoot him, he was like
pretty
here,
much right behind you.
and I just spun all the way around.
So you had to open up counterclockwise and.
Yeah, but it's supernatural. Like, once you figure it out, like, you don't really notice the rope, and the rope actually holds you up.
Yeah.
So like as you're spinning, your tether's here. So as you're spinning, the tether like comes up around across your collarbone right here.
So it moves naturally.
Yep. And your arm will actually, your elbow will be over your tether.
Yeah.
So this rope, your tether will go like right across here.
Right across your chest.
Yep. And
Okay.
right up into your armpit.
Okay.
So, and I don't know, you're just, I guess you got to trust it.
It's
It's
of
one
the
thing,
things.
Yeah.
you got to get a feel for it and like
Yeah.
trust in it, and figure out how to move around in it.
Yeah.
Once you do it, it's just super smooth,
Yeah.
Gun hunting's really cool out of it because the tree's right there for a rest.
Oh yeah, that's probably one of the biggest advantages. Honestly, if I had a handful of trees set up, I was literally only going to hunt with a saddle during gun season if I wasn't hunting from that platform.
Yep.
And obviously I only hunted 3 days, so it's like I didn't really get to experiment with it too much. And that was my game plan. I had like 3 or 4 trees already ready to go.
Yeah.
I knew I had them glow tacked, with the what people call them cat eyes or whatever,
Yeah.
glow tacks.
Yeah.
I had those trees already marked out. I had already climbed them, had already tied to them, knew that's exactly where I was going to be sitting and everything.
Yeah.
And obviously didn't get around to that. But this year, going into like spring scouting, I mean, we're already in the woods. You're already looking for antlers, sheds and stuff, and we're going to start doing more scouting here and there. And I wanted to hash it out with you, especially Jake, because you have the most experience out of all of us with them. And I've used it, but I guess what I want to do is I more or less wanted to be more confident with it, especially with the filming aspect.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I want to be able to have that camera, that muscle memory of swinging the camera around and getting everything on film.
I think once you figure it out, I don't think you'll go back.
See, I don't know, because I really like it. I love hunting from a tree stand because I stand most of the day. So, obviously, in that sense, I'd probably make a good saddle hunter, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But I don't know, that tree stand, I just love, and I have it down.
So, you probably, when you're in a tree stand, you stand up and flip your seat up and lay your back against the tree.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you're standing like that out of a saddle 80% of the time.
Yeah.
You just, instead of having the tree behind you, the saddle's holding you up. Your feet are kind of here, and you're leaned back up against a tree.
Yep.
So it's essentially the same thing.
Same, yeah. We were just talking about that. I was like, for the most part, when I stand up, I stand up 80% of the time when I'm in the tree stand, because especially in Ohio, because you don't know when a deer is going to come around the corner in Ohio.
Yeah.
It could be 10 o'clock, it could be noon, it could be 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. So I'm standing quite a bit, and the way I stand is I flip the seat up, and I tilt it just a little bit, and I lean my behind on that, and then lean against a tree.
Yeah.
And I'll be sitting there, I'll be like, this is how you stand in a saddle.
Yeah.
But it's just the point of, I don't know, so hard to get away from the tree stand. And
it's really hard.
But-
Just because I have that game figured out, I'm really confident with it.
the point of standing in a tree stand all day, I'm up and down, and then the lightness, we walk 2-3 miles one way when we go to Ohio. So it's that right there is
It's
my
not,
thought.
I don't think it's a ton different. The B stand's super light.
Yeah.
Oh, God, it's so right.
So you're really not a whole lot difference in weight, I don't think. Because I won't, if I got to walk a long ways, I won't wear my saddle. Because I don't really
like it.
I don't like where it feels like it's going to fall
That
off.
was going to be my question is the
If
saddle.
you're going half mile,
You're good.
you're good. But if, say you don't know where you're going to hunt and you're just going to pick a tree, scout your way in, pick a tree and hunt, then I'll just put it in the backpack.
Yeah.
Then it's just not.
What
in the
about
way.
gun season when you got your thicker layer stuff on? You still just carry it in your bag, or can you wear it?
During gun season, normally I don't wear my big clothes back, so I'll just put it in my bag, get dressed, and then put the saddle on when I get there. And that's huge too. It's once you figure out the system of getting it on and getting everything hooked up,
Yeah.
it's super fast. It takes you 10 seconds to put the thing on and you're going.
Now, you killed your muzzleloader buck last year out of the saddle.
Yep.
And then both bucks this year.
Yep.
Okay.
In the buck in Illinois.
Yeah, the buck in Illinois, yep.
Yeah. It's been a while since I've killed a deer out of a tree stand.
Huh.
Just about every deer I've killed's been out of a saddle the last 2 years.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Well, the reason why I was thinking that is because, roughly the area I was hunting. Well, there's plenty of spots for a good tree stand, don't get me wrong, but, in those clear cuts where you want to be... You don't want to be on the edge because the wind is coming from the edge.
Yeah.
You need to be off of the edge.
Yep.
But then if you're in a tree stand, you're kind of sticking out like a sore thumb.
Yeah, that's in a saddle you can kind of hide.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can put that tree right in front of your face.
Yeah.
If you know the deer are going to come from here, then you just sit right behind that tree and poke your head around when you need to kill them.
And that was my biggest thing because I'm like, God, if I sit in a tree stand here, I'm sitting out like a sore thumb.
Yeah.
But if I'm in a saddle, I'm in one of those red pines, in the clear cuts there.
Yeah.
Just staring right down there. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I get the tree in the way and because them deer, they don't walk out in the clear cut nearly as much. They walk the edge.
Yeah.
And it's just well, I need something in between me and the deer, especially if you're only sitting 40 yards away from the edge.
So you can kind of follow them too. I've
Yeah.
done it before. Does will be coming through and I've hunted out of a tree, you know, that's just like you wouldn't sit in a tree stand because you'd be a sore thumb just sticking out there. So they'll be walking, you know, and you just kind of follow the deer. Like they're going this way, and you just kind of rotate around the tree to where you're
So you
heading
don't
the
see
whole
'em.
way. You know, and they'll go right on by and never look at you.
Yeah.
It's pretty neat. I like it.
Well, I've gathered a lot of different ideas. I've been listening to a few other podcasts and stuff like that, and I know. Well, I was talking to Kevin one time, and he's like, "Yeah, you know, it's just really cool because like you can see like the deer when you're behind the tree, and it's looking at you, and they'll almost get frustrated because like they know you're there, they know something's there, but they can't figure it out."
Yeah.
And I'm like, God, that is so freaking stealthy, and I'm like. It's just another, like, I don't think I'll ever get to a point where I'm, like, fully moved away from, like, tree stand hunting or I'm fully invested into saddle hunting. Maybe. You're saying I
I'm
will.
telling you.
You're saying I will.
He knows. I was, like, so against it. Like,
Yeah.
I made fun of everybody. I'm like,
I think it's because of the facade or whatever that was kind of around it. You know, it's like, and I'm not diving into this. Because, I mean, saddles have been around for, what, decades? But nobody really started using them until like
we didn't really want to get into them when it was like a bandwagon thing.
it was totally a bandwagon thing. Hey, do you saddle hunt?
No, it's just a normal thing. So.
Now I saddle hunt. I just don't tell people I saddle.
Yeah, now I'm pissed off that
You
it's actually a really good option because
people are like, "Oh, you hunt out of a saddle?" I'm like, "Yeah,
yeah, that's me."
I own one of those diapers.
No, it's but I'll tell you what, like that. I know when when Kevin and Alex sent us those, dude, I was just like, dude, these things they're sharp. Because I've looked at a couple of different brands.
I hunted out of his.
Yes.
Yep. You have the large.
I have the large. You have the XL.
large.
Yeah, I hunted out of that one all year.
And you liked it.
Yeah. Man. So the first year I hunted out of that. Oh shoot! What
it was like a hybrid one, wasn't it?
Yeah, JX3.
JX3.
And it's big, bulky, it's super comfortable.
Yeah.
Like it's like sitting in a climber, but reverse. You know, you're hooked to the tree, but you're in a climber seat. It was super comfortable, but it's big and bulky. You know, heavy. So I liked that system a whole lot better. That's not quite as comfortable, but I mean, I could still sit in it all day.
Yeah.
When Latitude just came out with another one last year, I
saw
went down
that.
to that mobile expo.
Yeah.
And Kevin can wear it. Little man can wear the newer model they just came out. It's supposed to be their budget one.
Yep.
And believe it or not, I wore the.
I know the name.
I wore the
X the model.
Yeah, I don't either. But I wore the extra large in that one, and then I tried that newer model up, the budget one. And I kind of like that. I like that one a little bit more. And then
What one's the Lone Star? What one's that?
Lone Star.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Isn't that the new model?
It might be.
it might be.
Pretty sure.
I could look that up.
Let
me look that up.
Yeah, it was a lot lighter, and it came in a smaller frame too. Like I said, I mean Kevin's
See, the Lone Star, I
10.
think, is a bigger, heavier version.
okay.
This
one was a little. It didn't weigh. I grabbed both of them, and it didn't seem too bad. And then it just
Lone Star. Yep.
They were just calling it their budget friendly.
So that'd be a single panel.
but it's got
Yes.
it's got like a backrest built in.
Yeah. It looks pretty comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that one was on their website is $299.99, and the Method 2, the 2-panel like I got right there, is $209.99. But it's marked out. They must be running a deal on that because it says originally $300. So I'm not really sure. And then you might be thinking of the Maverick. That was a 1-panel that was ultralight. That's $199.99. So that might
be the one.
Yeah. Okay, now I remember that.
But yeah, little man, he put it on and fit it perfect.
Yeah.
So.
I know.
He was working. Kevin was working Kevin pretty hard.
Was he?
Oh yeah, he's like, I fit this pretty good. You know, hey, he got a sticker.
Oh, there you go. That's all right.
Yeah, they're not coming to Michigan this year. Mobile Expo.
No, they're in Ohio.
Yep.
Or Indiana.
Ohio and Georgia.
Okay. Yep.
I do believe.
Yeah.
I reached out to them. I didn't know if they were going to be in Michigan. I was going to see if we can get down there with a booth or something, but
Yeah.
Ohio's just a little bit too far, I think.
Yeah, I don't even know when that is either. It's in the middle of the summer.
Yeah.
God, you know what? That's the crazy thing about some of those.
You would think they'd be more around this time.
Yeah, I know, because I wanted to do a couple booths and stuff,
Yes.
but it's they're in the middle of the summertime, and I'm like, God, I don't know.
Everybody's busy.
Everyone's
We're slammed.
Yeah.
Just try to make the time to get down there and get set up. It's just, I don't know how these, you know what I mean? I could see how they could do it, but for a blue-collar family like we are,
Yeah.
it'd just be hard. Like this time of the year ain't bad.
Right.
Like I could see us doing stuff around this time, but
Yeah. Yeah, this time of the year would be great. I got a couple expos and stuff like that coming up. I want to get to them so that way I can kind of get a layout and stuff, and
well,
I eventually want to go to them.
Lone Wolf, Custom Gears, they also have one that comes through Michigan too, but
That's not the mobile hunting expo. That might be
that's it's right there. It's similar to what. It's pretty much the same thing, just a little bit more just lone wolf stuff and talking and. But that mobile expo is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I've been to it twice, and it's worth the drive. You know, what I mean, I get to meet
Yeah.
Mario and all them guys.
I mean,
down
hell,
there, Kevin.
you went all the way down there, spent a day at the mobile hunting expo, and he made it back for my heat race.
Yep.
Charlie come walking into the pits, and I'm like, dude, I thought you were down at the mobile hunter expo. He's like, yeah, I was. It was pretty cool. Decided to come back just in case you got a flat tire.
You did get a flat tire.
I did. No, my tire fell off.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody was. That was the. You came. That was the race you came last year.
No, the race
Wasn't
that
it?
you were both there. I won the 4-car dash, the heat race, and the feature.
Yeah,
I
you
swept
won
the
them all.
field.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Never even got to change a tire.
I never even got to change the tire.
Or a fight. A fight didn't even break
Nothing.
out.
I know.
Nothing.
Damn.
Usually there's a good fight. There was one night. Yeah, there was one. It was funny seeing Ron Grubauer go after this guy. This guy was in his face. Honestly, Ron had the patience of Job with this guy, and I'm like, dude, I'd have been pushing him out of my face way before he did. Ron had a lot of patience. Yeah, definitely a lot of patience on that one. That guy was an idiot, though. I don't know why he was doing what he was doing. And then he came to Ron bitching about it. It's like, dude, you were the one doing it. Why are you bitching? I won't get on a tangent about racing, but yeah, that was kind of crazy. Yeah, but stuff. So, yeah, so that's kind of like why I wanted to talk to you guys about, like, kind of bring that up, because I kind of wanted to, especially picking your brain about it, because I, moved into spring scout and I wanted to start figuring out trees. Like, oh, that one's good for a saddle. Mm-hmm. That one's good for the bee stand.
No, my question is, have you found a tree that you don't really prefer to get in, or too big of a tree, maybe? So
Yeah, too big, but I think too big of a tree. Like, you're gonna play the same scenario with a tree stand.
Yeah.
You don't want to hang a quick set in a giant ass fucking tree.
No.
I got another
You
question.
fight
for you.
with it and try and get your strap around and
Yeah.
Now, how's it getting in a small tree? How was that?
you can hunt out of a tree smaller with a saddle than you can with a tree stand.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah, because
You know.
the tree that first deer you shot at when we went looking for it,
Yeah, it's like this big.
Because he ended up
he got up there to get it down to move over for the next morning, and that tree's just moving. I'm like, it's gonna break.
Dude,
I'm
I
trying
wa-
to get the GoPro on him. I'm like, come on, break. Break.
Me and Travis were sitting there, and we stopped. I actually got it on video. I'm going to put it in the deer camp episode. I was sitting there walking underneath it, and he's like, yep, this is the tree I was in. I'm like, ah, dang, you got a lot of faith.
So I go in there, and I was in there like early in the fall. And when I kind of went into it, you know, I was like doing a little elk scouting, a little bit of deer scouting, you know, and didn't think too hard about
Trees.
hunting it. Trees, you know, like I kind of looked at that spot. I'm like, yeah, there's a tree there. And I was looking at, there's a couple big pine in
Yep.
the clear cut.
Yep.
But they were too big. and even further, the shot would have been even further than what it was, you know. And that shot was already
A good
on the
poke.
first deer was.
That was a
I
good
didn't
poke.
think
Yeah,
it was
it was
as
a
far
good
as it
poke.
was, but it was over 300 yards. you
Yeah.
know? And I didn't know that. So to be in one of them big pines, I would have been to shoot at that deer probably 400 yards. you
Yeah.
know? So it was kind of like when I was going in, it's like starting to get daylight, you know, like the horizon's just starting to come up. So you could see the treetops out in the open.
Yep.
And I seen it. And you kind of like see the opening in the marsh right there, you know. And I'm like, God, that'll work, you know. So I get to the base of it, and it's, what was it, like some sort of cherry tree or
Yeah,
something.
yeah,
right?
it was, yep.
And I get to the base, and the base is like this big. I'm like, this is going to be fine, you know. And gets 2 steps up, and I'm like, it's like this big. I'm like 8 foot off the ground. I'm like, I got to go higher than this.
Yeah.
Get up there, and like where my feet were at was not bad. It was probably like 6-7 inches, you know. But where I hooked my tether onto was literally like
3-4 inches.
3-4 inches around, and every little slight movement just.
Oh, I try to get the GoPro on him because when he's climbing that tree, I'm all the way across the marsh, standing by the tree that he was going to climb in, and I'm watching that tree, and I'm like, come on, I'm trying to figure out how to zoom in and zoom out, and I'm like, the tree's just a moving.
Dude, I'm like, when we walked under it, I'm like sitting there, I'm like, I don't know, Jake, you're a pretty big boy to be strapped to that thing up there.
And he was, what'd you have, 5 sticks, 6 sticks?
Just 4.
4
with
aiders.
With yeah. So I did have
So he's up. He was up there
2 or
quite a
3
bit.
step.
Yeah. That
Wasn't like he was
that
just-
kind of brings it. Which aiders did you grab?
So I started with what are the little rope ones?
the Amsteel ones.
Yeah,
I
the
got the ones from Latitude.
So I tried those and I didn't like them.
No?
Just because I couldn't. I didn't mess with them enough to get used to them.
Yeah.
And
Couldn't feel 'em
I
when you
couldn't
went
feel
down?
them.
Yeah.
So I went to is it like Ape Canyon or something?
I don't know if that's
They sell them at Jay's. I think it's Ape Canyon is the
Okay.
brand. I might be wrong. It's something like that, anyways. But just like a 1-inch strapping.
Yep.
You know, with the steps got like a
Hose or like a tube.
like a tube or something.
Oh,
And they're
okay.
bigger, bulkier, but
Yep.
I like to be able to feel it on my boot. You
Yeah.
know, and it's a 3-step. I just use 1 aider. I use a 3-step
Okay.
aider on my bottom stick.
Okay. Yeah, I think I just had the Amsteel rope. I ended up getting I got the 4B sticks, but then I got the Latitude Amsteel rope.
Yep.
The aiders there, and that's
So are yours just the single aiders?
Yep.
Each stick's
Yeah.
got an aider.
Yep, and that seems to get me 25 feet, no problem.
Yeah.
If I wanted to really, really because I'm 6'3", so it's like, if I really wanted to, I could stretch it to
Stretch
about
it.
27, 28 feet. But
Yep.
I mean, I never.
That's to your head, right? Or to your feet.
No, to my head. Yeah,
your
to
head.
be about to my head or eye height, anyways.
I just
So my
run
first stick,
one.
I put the bottom of my first stick with the 3-step aider is just above my head.
Okay.
So I'm basically getting one extra. I'm basically getting 5 sticks.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit more than that, like 5.5 sticks.
Yeah.
And I'm probably 24 foot is what I'm getting probably.
Yeah. That's pretty good. I mean, really,
Yeah.
for bow hunting, you don't need to get it. And in all reality, that's about as high as you need to be.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I need. I need to change my. I'm still running the straps around my sticks right now. I need to change that up.
Oh, no, you need to go with that Amsteel rope.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude,
Well,
that is...
I was on the fence with it until I watched Jake climb his.
Yeah.
I was like, if it holds him, it'll hold me.
Yeah. See, what I did was...
It just don't make sense in my mind. I'm sorry. It just doesn't.
I had the tethered sticks, and this is before I had the beast sticks. Well, when I got the beast sticks, they come with the straps and everything, and I'm like, well, I just take the frickin' the Amsteel rope off of the tethered sticks, and I put them right on the beast sticks, and boom, boom. I mean, I could double wrap those and wrap them around.
he
I
had
have
a-
a system that's pretty smooth.
He had a strap fail on him. The
Yeah,
strap
so I
that
still
came with
have the
beast stick.
straps on my beast sticks, but I still run my tethered sticks with
Yeah.
the Amsteel
Okay.
cords on them.
You did get those. That's right. You
Yeah.
got the okay.
Yep.
Yeah, the tethered ones.
And the beast stick strap,
You had one of them.
one of them failed. Like it wouldn't hold.
It just kept slipping.
Just kept slipping out of the buckle. Yeah.
Huh. Wonder if that's spring inside that little
Yeah,
bad or something.
That's just a human-made thing. So.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I've even thought to go. I really like the Carbon Speed Series sticks.
Oh.
I kind of want to try those this year, but I just
Ashton
Who
has
makes those?
does he
Latitude
makes them. Yeah, those are great. Those are
Oh,
great
the
sticks.
carbon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, with the beast sticks, like, what do you really getting? Like maybe 2 ounces.
And
They
stack a little bit better, but not much better.
Dude, at my beast sticks, dude, I freaking clamp those right together, and I have that little, the screw thing to hold them together and everything. Dude, that tightens them right down.
I do. I love the way the beast sticks pack together.
Oh, they pack together. Yeah,
They're tight. They don't make no noise.
Nope.
Zero noise.
Nope.
Zero. But I want to get away from the strap.
yeah.
And you can take, there's a company out there, or you can get them made, but you can get the same buckle or the thing that you use your rope for.
Yeah.
You can get that same one the Tether has. This other company makes it and just swap them out.
Put it on a beast stick.
Yep, put it on the beast stick.
Yeah.
Forgot I don't have it on me right now, but I.
Well, I think
found
the carbon stick actually comes with that, anyways, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's built all in one.
Okay. Yeah. That's honestly the way to go. The less metal, the less weight, the better. And I know how to tie that stuff to where, like, I've never had an issue where I stepped on a stick and it loosened up. Ever. Not once. That AM steel rope's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I've never.
In fact, I'm trying to think of different
They actually
applications
like,
to
cut
use
into
it
the
for.
tree.
What's that?
The Amstel rope, it actually like cuts into the tree.
Oh, it's yeah.
And it just bites better. Like the strap kind of tightens down, but you can still grab that stick and move it if you really wanted to.
Yeah.
The rope actually helps lock it in. Because that rope.
shit.
And
eats
those
right
B
in.
those B sticks, you probably noticed this too, dude. You undo that strap, that thing, you have to pull it out of the tree.
Yeah.
Well, I left my beast stand and sticks up because I thought I was going to go back, and that's when we got that big snowstorm. So I didn't go. I wasn't able to go back for like a week and a
Your
half.
tree stand's still in the tree?
No, I got it.
Oh, you got it.
I got it back. I called
That's
Jake.
gone.
I said, where'd you go to? It was your guys' elk season. I said, where'd you go? He's like, we've been everywhere. So I said, okay, I'm gonna chance it for my stand. I don't want somebody walking up on it.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, it's 3 miles back in the fucking woods, but so I walked back there, and I'll tell you what, it took me everything to do to get my stick, not the sticks, the stand off.
Yeah.
The stand was stuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. It digs in there.
Well, it was also everything was frozen. It was cold that day I walked in.
Yeah.
So that's another reason I chanced it to drive out there because everything was frozen. But yeah, not a deer in sight though. Not one deer track all the way back there and back to the truck.
I mean, I still have a lot of my cameras out right now, and they're still taking pictures. I have a few deer on camera, but it's nothing. I mean, they're definitely yarded up somewhere.
Oh yeah, this year they definitely had to yard up. They're coming out now though. I seen a bunch of deer on the way here out in the fields.
Yeah. Well, I was talking to Matt Hadley yesterday. He used to work with him at Jay's, and I was just telling him, I was like, dude, this warm up that we're getting in March is a godsend.
They needed it
Because
bad.
we have had, you think about it, we've
been
had
a brutal-
record snowfall in
brutal.
Gaylord and in this area. It's like, dude, if it would have continued through March, our deer
One
herd
thing
would
I
have
will
hurt.
say that we didn't get this winter that we've been getting the past few years, I guess not the past few years, but the last couple bad winters we had, it would snow and then rain.
Yeah, we
And
didn't
that
get the
would just
rain.
make the deer's life miserable. you
Yeah,
know?
we didn't get the rain. That was good.
I think we only got
This year it was just kind of cold all the way through. It just
Yeah.
when it was snowing, not
Yeah.
mix and rain and bullshit. So I don't think it was too bad on them really.
Yeah, I think they'll be okay. I know me and Charlie were out doing the squirrel hunt. We saw 5 cow and calves.
Yep,
Dude, they were thin.
really,
Jake, these calves looked like deer.
really.
Ribs showing and everything. I'm like, oh my god, this is not
Yeah,
good.
no acorns.
No.
Mm-mm.
The only place I found acorns this year was up where I deer hunted, and that was actually further north, where I deer hunted the year before.
Yep.
There was plenty of acorns in there, but I mean, like I was, I was telling Matt yesterday, I was like, and he saw the same things because of all the dry weather that we had throughout the second part of the summer.
Yep.
Them acorns dropped really early. I was finding elk sign already in the acorns in September.
Yeah.
That's not normal because usually those acorns don't really start dropping until the first part of October.
Yeah.
And they were raining down in the second week of September, and the elk were already in them. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm assuming they were pretty bitter, but they were still there. Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting to kind of see how next year's going to play out. I think we're going to have to work for it.
Yeah, I think so.
You know,
this past year is about as good as it gets.
We got spoiled this year. We got really spoiled this year.
Yep, we have to go back to working hard for him. Coming from a guy that killed both of his bucks in a pop-up this year.
Yeah, 2 of my 3 target bucks.
Don't get me wrong, we've all killed deer out of a pop-up, but I think that's a subject people want to hear too.
I mean, that's the first deer that I've killed other than that.
2008 buck.
2008 buck I killed from a pop-up blind. And then, what's her face's buck that she killed? That 11 point. That was from a pop-up. I've
killed a couple. It gets that negative weather or close to negative weather, snow on the ground.
I'm not
heater.
I like being out in the woods. I don't like being miserable.
No.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, Jake, you're pretty much using. You're starting to use Kuyu, but Charlie, you're pretty much
all
using
Kuyu.
Kuyu. I'm using all Kuyu. I mean, anybody that's dedicating or investing into better clothing, they're gonna be able to sit longer in rougher conditions and stuff. But like I found my system with Kuyu, and it's like it's extremely warm, but still
cold.
When it's November, it's 20 degrees out. It's a 10-mile-per-hour wind, and you're sitting 25 plus feet up in the air, just getting the shit beat out of you by the cold wind. It's like you cannot take that.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, maybe I'm getting to the point where I just can't, or I prioritize comfort more. But
right.
I mean, that's why I went out and I put up a platform, put up a pop-up. You know, and I'm like, dude, if I'm gonna be here, I'm gonna sit all freaking day if I can.
Yep.
If I have to. And I'm going to be warm. I'm going to be comfortable. I saw you two guys freaking doing it. I want to build one of your blinds.
Yeah.
Well, it's so portable. Dude. It's easy. We can throw it right on our back and move it.
It's insane. And I know Kevin was talking about this in one of the previous podcasts. And it's like, it's a game changer because if you can sit all freaking day, well, you think about it. That spot that you have that one in, you can't go there for a morning hunt. You have to sit all day, otherwise you're busting deer out of there.
Yeah.
You can't go in there midday because they're already bedded there. You can't go in the morning and leave midday because you'll bump them out of there.
You'll bump them when you leave. Yep.
You literally, at that spot Jake is at, you literally have to sit all day.
Yeah. Get there in the dark and leave in the dark.
Yes. And that's where one of those blinds, if people want to, I mean, it's 100% legal.
Yeah.
You can go put it out there and you can be comfortable.
I built mine pretty much around like a ladder stand.
Yeah, yes, you did. Yeah, and that was a good setup too.
You throw the ladder stand up. I got the box blind on my back. I literally carried it in with my kid.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. My kid carried the ladder stand with me, and right in, right back out, right in. Move it over here, move it over there.
Yeah,
it's just that easy. But it's the point of having those setups for those miserable days.
Yeah,
off winds. And just the days that's raining, but you only got 5 days off of work. Well, me, I don't own my own business yet, but you know what I mean. I get 7 days or
you'll get
days,
there, and then you only have 3 days to hunt.
Right. But I was just saying, it's nice that it's raining out, and you're like, I'm still gonna go sit up on a pop-up, or I'm gonna go sit in a box blind. Yeah. It's still nice to have those, and I've killed plenty of deer in the $50 cheap pop-up.
Yeah.
And it keeps you warm.
Yeah.
Warm enough, even with your hunting gear on. You know what I mean?
That's, I think, what I'm going to do from here. I have all my trees that I need where if I want to throw a saddle in it or the bee stand, I can throw them right in the tree and hunt. But I wanted like 3 or 4 good spots where I have an opportunity at killing a deer. There's a platform there. I have the blind on there. Like, I would rather go out in late September, early October, put that up and have to take it out rather than being cold.
Yeah.
Like, I would rather do that than sitting in a tree stand for days on end. I'm almost to that point now, especially in the areas where you're like, I'm in the spot, and if I leave here, there's a good chance I could bump deer. The spot that I hunted this year, that was literally their bedding. It was very similar to the setup you got, at the one spot.
Yep.
I can't leave there. They will see me get out of there. They will see me walk out.
Yep.
The only reason I did get out the 2 days was because I had shot a deer in the morning. And I think those are the right conditions to be or to have something like that in there. Granted, I was in a pop-up, but all you need is an 8-foot platform to get above stuff. That's it. It ain't that hard. I hauled out 4 4x4s, 8 feet long, put a platform on top of it. I didn't need to do any trimming or anything like that. Like, I just set it up. It's over a marsh. I can shoot over the grass. Good to go.
Yeah.
And it ain't hard to take out.
No.
Yeah.
Take it in one load, take it out in one load.
Well, our dad's been doing it for years.
Yeah.
So it's mobile, but it ain't mobile.
No,
if we hunt there all year, it doesn't work out, or you see deer in a different area or something, you can either come back in the following year and put it up somewhere else. It's so much easier.
And I do mine with the brackets and the lag bolts. So all I gotta do is take a frickin' a wrench out there, 3 in each one. It's out,
Gone.
boom, it's down. I throw them in a little bag, throw all that, strap that to my bob, the jet sled that I have.
Yep.
It's a day of putting it up, and it's a day of taking it out.
So when we first started doing it, what we did was we did the same thing as the 4x4s, and we just do 2.
Yeah.
And make our platform and just
Lean it up against a tree.
Yeah, we just cut like I did. I took a piece of steel and just made like little teeth.
Yep.
And we just did it like a ladder stand.
Like a little V bracket.
Used my B sticks, or at that time it would have been my hawk sticks. Used my hawk sticks to climb, take them down so nobody else could use it at the end of the season. I made it big enough just for one of them TP pop-ups back in the day. Just enough. You can literally 10, 12 feet up gets you
$79.99 special.
Yeah.
Walmart.
Yeah, but you only at that time we were only getting 12, 13 feet up. You can literally pull it down, put it on your shoulders, and walk out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think nowadays it's nice to have that mobile setup.
Yeah.
But when it hits that cold temp and you still want to hunt, or it's raining or it's sprinkling, you don't want to sit out in the weather, at least you have those backup spots.
When you get into a spot and like, I can kill a deer here, but I need to put the time in.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was totally ready to sit the entire frickin' season in that blind. Yeah. I was ready. Well, I knew I was going to have a good chance at killing something within the first couple days, but I was ready to sit the entire season and do a lot of all-day sits, and I was going to be super comfortable in that thing.
Yeah.
And quite honestly, like, if you want to do it that way, like, you have to be comfortable. You have to be able to sit all day. Yep. These people that tell you, like, oh, yeah, go hunt out for 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours in the evening, you're missing a lot of time throughout the middle of the day, especially if you're hunting, like, where you have yours. Yeah. That's an all-day spot. You can see deer from sun up till sundown. Yeah. Because that's where they're bedding. That's where they're feeling safe.
It's not a spot. We build those blinds.
Your river spot's similar, too.
Yeah, there's no way me and Jake are sitting in the same spot. Or in the same... Like, I can't go to his spot and sit with him.
Right.
Like, the camera, when we're filming and we're looking at each other, we're talking to the cameras, the blinds look huge. But they're not.
Yeah,
we can literally go like this and hit the walls.
I think a lot of people do get that impression.
I see, for some reason, in the film, it looks like it's
this
man,
huge
that looks huge. I'm like, I could hit all the windows. Like, I got to literally physically go like this to open the window.
Yeah, you got to tuck your elbow.
So my platform's 4x4.
Yeah,
and then the corners are also 45 too. So it's got, it's 5-sided.
Yeah.
The back's a full side, and then the two sides come like this, and then you got your 45 wall and then a little short wall in the front.
Yeah.
So it's not even 4x4.
The key is what I figured was
tiny.
the key
It's
was
tiny.
Mobile.
But what's cool is your camera arm reaches to every window.
Yeah.
You know, and that's how I have mine set up.
Do you have it right in front of you, like right in front of you in a corner?
In a corner.
Okay.
So I'm sitting like this,
Okay.
and on that 145 wall, the one small wall, I put just a piece of wood in there to bolt.
Okay.
I use the muddy arm.
Yeah. Yep.
I just leave that muddy bracket hooked to that blind.
Yeah. Didn't you screw it into it?
Yeah.
You just drop
Yep.
Okay.
So that you can take it off. You can take that mount off. It's just two bolts that come through the back of that wood.
Yeah.
And your muddy bracket goes over those two bolts, and then it wing nuts on.
Oh, okay.
And that's slotted, so it you can adjust your
Yeah.
plumb. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
so I can barely. I'm short. I'm 5'7", but I can barely
Are ya?
reach.
Are you sure?
So I always made. I knew you guys were gonna say that, but I made it taller so I could stand up, and thank God I did it that way because I didn't think about it when I built that blind for how far it sticks out. Where it doesn't stick out is my gun barrel. Trying to get my gun out the window. So thank God I made it a little longer so I could like somewhat stand in it and stretch.
Yeah.
I literally gotta like either put my barrel out and then bring it up to me, or I gotta go up and
yeah, but your gun's super long.
my gun is longer. But
Yeah.
but if somebody's gonna build, when I say build it just a touch tall, so you can at least stretch.
Yeah. That would
You
make
know
sense.
what I mean? Mine ain't real wide, so I can't really. Like, you guys would have an issue stretching in that. You would have to stand up to stretch, is where I'm getting at.
Yeah. So mine,
So,
like if
especially being on a ladder stand type platform.
midday, like I go like kitty corner. Like normally I sit like this with my back to the wall, but I can get more stretch if I put my chair kind of like into the far corner and kind of put my legs diagonal across the blind. I can almost get my legs all the way out there, you know?
And it don't take much to heat them. Like, I'm done with the
No.
Mr. Heater. I'm getting rid of the Mr. Heater. I'm going to buy me a little burner.
Little burner. That's all you need.
Seriously, dude. My insulated blind with the windows and stuff in it, like minute 30 seconds, buddy heater on low.
Yeah.
And you're
Smoked
fucking
out.
just cooked. Cooked. Back to pilot. 5 minutes and it'll chill right down. You flip it back onto low, and minute 30 seconds, you're cooked again. It's like, my God. Wish I could just pick a happy median.
One of the-
Take long.
The one that goes on the cooker, like if you go out elk hunting in the wet, like out in the mountains, you know, the little cookers that they have.
Yep.
That's what I'm getting for mine.
That's
that way
that's
I
what
could
you
just
need.
leave it on and
Yeah.
don't have to mess with it. Mr. Heater, and I got the smallest Mr. Heater in there, and it yeah.
I think you could get one
Too
of them
much.
little torches. Gas station, just hit the button and lock it. And
My brother, so when him and Megan, his wife came out and helped me get my the second deer I shot out of the woods. He's sitting there looking at the platform, and he's like, "Dude, I'm gonna have 2 of those next year." And Megan's like, "I want one too."
was Megan hunting out of a tree stand?
No, she was hunting out of a pop-up blind from the
pop-up.
ground.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So was Aaron, though. Aaron
I-
hunted the first couple days from a pop-up because he wanted to be close to her. And
Yeah.
I bet
Megan's dad came up, too.
Okay.
And he's got some heart issues and stuff, but it was Megan wanted to hunt with her dad, and Aaron's like, I'm gonna stay close to them. So he didn't go to some of his really good spots that we had set up. And then the weather kind of turned to crap, and we started getting some of those east winds. And he's like, "Yeah, I can't go to those." I'm like, "No." So we ended up setting up another spot for him. It was like on the 5th or 6th day. Me and him went in. We just got this. I said, "Dude, this is going to be pretty sweet." Went in there, put a camera up, and I already had a couple cameras in the area. We ended up getting a nice 8-point. I mean, he's probably that 110-inch range, nothing super. I think it was a 2-year-old that I had him on camera a few other times earlier in the year. But Aaron would have been, more than happy killing that. And so he hunted that, but then we started getting just crazy snowstorms. And he's like, yeah, no. He's like, next year I will have a platform.
I bet you next year.
I was like, why not?
Megan's probably gonna put
You
her
know?
phone on vibrate for next year, though. Probably won't even answer Aaron's text messages. I'll
Probably
pass on that one.
Aaron did tell her to. Did you hear about that?
Yeah. So refresh me though.
Oh
like,
my God! So they had trail cameras all up, in that area and stuff. Aaron got into the game of cell cameras this year.
Yeah.
He got a little obsessed because I think I ordered like 7 of them through Ashton for him.
Yeah.
Dude, he started getting pictures and he's like, "Oh, I like these." I'm like, "Yeah, they're pretty sweet, aren't they?" And so he's sitting there and Megan's hunting like, I don't know, maybe like 150 yards from. Can you let Banner out?
Yeah.
He's whining. So Megan was like 150, 200 yards from Aaron, and Aaron was sitting over, and they're both kind of like right in like near those clear cuts.
Yeah.
But they were in the woods. They could see out into the clear cut, but their main thing was the trails coming out into. And Aaron was on one side, Megan and her dad were on the other, and Aaron's sitting there, and he gets a deer on trail camera. Obviously it's moving through the woods, so you don't get a good picture of it. And Aaron thought it was, for whatever reason, thought it was the spike horn. And it was headed towards Megan. So it was like, I don't know, 100 yards from Megan. Aaron texted her and told her, "Hey, I think there's a spike horn coming your way. Don't shoot it." So Megan's sitting there and she's like, "Okay, whatever." Aaron gets this 8-point that walks through. And he's sitting there and he's watching. He's like, "Oh man, that's gonna head right towards Megan." So, it's not a giant, but a nice buck, nice 8-point. And so Aaron lets it go because he thinks it's gonna walk right across the edge of the clear cut there and then end up right in front of Megan. So he's sitting there and he tells Megan, he's like, "Hey, there's one headed your way." And they ended up getting a trail camera picture. Both of them are getting these pictures at the same time. But the other one was coming from the other way. And Aaron's like, "No, don't shoot that. That's the spike horn." And she's like, "Okay." So the 8-point walks out, and it's like, I don't know. She said it was like 60, 80 yards away. She didn't have that much, very far to shoot. Aaron kept it pretty close range. And so it came through, and Megan texts and says, "Hey, there's a deer in front of me." He's like, "Don't shoot that. Aaron thought it was the spike horn." Turns out it was actually a 6-point. Because they ended up getting it on trail camera a little bit later. Then the 8-point comes through, so Megan didn't shoot it. So Aaron passed that buck because he thought it was going to go to Megan. And Megan passed it because she thought it was a different deer than what it was. Because, we're sitting there, you got your lanes that you're going to kind of shoot through. You got to watch them. A deer's moving through there. You don't really have the opportunity to look at its antlers.
Yeah.
It's not like they're standing there broadside like, "Hey, you check this side out, check that side." No, they're moving. Yeah. You have very little time to make that decision. Well, that deer ends up going through. They get that deer on trail camera too. It was the 8-point. And that was opening morning. And I texted.
She's gonna ground check everyone.
I said, "What are you doing, dude?" I was like, well, number one, it wasn't the spike horn. It was actually a 6-point. It just didn't have brow tines. And then, so she passed that one up. And then the frickin' 8-point comes through and she passed that up too. Because they couldn't see. It's not like they were 40 yards in front of them standing broadside like, "Hey," a deer's moving through. You can't really tell.
She could have been tagged out. Boom, boom.
She could have been tagged out. Aaron could have killed that 8-point at I think it was 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, dude, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you thinking? What are you doing? I said it's going to end up in the same freezer.
Aaron's going to text her next year.
You know what I mean?
"Hey, it's a spike horn or 4-point." She's going to drop that first thing that comes out.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. But, it was a cool... It sucks, but it was a cool story. Megan was pretty geeked up about it. Aaron was too, but he was kicking himself for it. I'm like, dude, it's not, this isn't the days where you could sit there, and have a deer in front of you on a bait pile or a food plot, and you can just, "Oh yeah, that's a good 3.5, 4.5-year-old." Give a real good look at
seconds.
it. You have
sometimes.
Seconds to make that decision, and if you can't, that's why, and I don't want to go way too off on a tangent, but that's also why kind of like I'm hesitant about APRs. Is not because they wouldn't work, because of how many people are actually going to unintentionally break the law.
Yeah.
Right.
And I don't like giving the DNR any more money than they need. That's the only reason that I kind of hesitated about the whole APR game, because there's going to be a lot of people that shoot deer and oops.
But that's kind of
No.
that's kind of the point of it, Like they're making people take a second look.
Right. And sometimes
but
you just
You
don't have
have
that opportunity.
You have
Yeah.
to look twice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can't just go bone.
And it makes sense.
Shoot.
Don't
It
get me
does.
wrong, but I mean, you get someone in there that's like, imagine like a younger version of
Yeah.
ourselves.
Yeah.
How many 6 points have I shot that didn't have brow tines?
Yeah.
Right.
Now I know in APRs it's fine, but with a restricted tag, it's not.
Yeah.
No.
That's why there's been a handful of times where I already had my first tag filled, and then I got my restricted tag left, and I'm like, oh, there's one. And I look at it, and I'm like, oh, no brow tines. You know what I mean? You're like, A lot of people that don't have that experience or don't think about that, they can easily make a split-second decision that can kind of screw them over.
I did it 2 seasons ago.
And I hate that. I hate when good people that are just out there trying to hunt end up making a mistake and the frickin' DNR just puts them on the butcher block.
See,
I hate that.
I think
Can't stand it.
like a good thing. I don't know. I guess I go both ways on it. Maybe if you didn't care what you killed.
Oh, dogs are barking.
Uh-oh. That sounded vicious.
Hey, he thinks he's a badass. He's about 6 pounds.
But anyways, I almost think maybe if you didn't care what you killed, just get one deer tag.
Yeah.
Shoot whatever the hell you want.
I'm torn. I like the thought of just the one buck tag.
I don't.
See, I'm glad we kind of got on that.
Yeah, let's dig into that, eh?
You want to dig into that, the one buck? And that could be a whole podcast itself.
Oh, I know, but
But-
I'm a thought. You know,
but
that's
how many times have you filled both your buck tags?
This year
only
was
twice.
the first time I've done it since 2012.
I'm 35 and only done it twice.
Yeah.
See, I fill both mine all the time.
But how,
Like a lot.
You're the reason we don't have deer.
So,
damn you, Jake Ormsby.
God damn
like forever, I killed a buck with my bow and I killed a buck with my gun.
Right.
I would kill
Or
a buck in bow
that
season
might
in
be a
Michigan,
thing too.
and I'd kill a buck
Hey,
with my gun.
One-
I've been saying that for
One for
frickin'
bow
6
season, and one
years.
for rifle season.
Like, do I think it would help? Maybe. Yeah, I don't know.
But
Well,
maybe
even
it
if
would,
you
maybe
just
it wouldn't.
you kept the 2 buck tags, you shoot one in bow season, one in gun season. That's what your tag's good for bow, one for gun.
Yeah.
I'm good with that one.
I don't hate that, and I'll tell you why. It's because like I used to be against the APRs, not because like I didn't want deer getting to an older age. I
Yeah.
want that.
Yep.
I didn't want to ruin the natural progression that hunters experience, growing up and their teenage years shooting spike horns and fork horns, and then eventually graduating. I didn't want that natural progression being ruined. What I wanted I wanted people to get on that. I wanted them to evolve naturally, not by regulation. More regulation is bad. And I think with the onset of cell cams, I think that there has been a natural progression, and people are like, well, I know what's out there, so I'm not going to shoot that
Right.
spike horn or that 4-point.
I think it's helping us. Yes,
It definitely is. Some
I think
people are still like, you know what? I don't care. I'm going to go out. I'm going to shoot the first antler, the antlered deer I see, and that's going to be done. Cool. Have at it.
Yep.
You buy the same license. You pay the same price I do.
Yep.
I can't say anything. What I will say is, I used to be in favor of that 1 buck rule until I looked at like some statistics from like Mississippi and stuff like that. They have like where you can shoot 2 or 3 bucks a year, and I really wish I had this information on hand because I looked into it and it really did sway my mind. The areas that didn't have 1 buck, like you could kill 2 or 3 bucks, they had the highest average age of deer that they were harvesting, and it had nothing to do with one buck tag. Nothing. You could kill 3 bucks in Mississippi, and they're still killing on average 3 to 4 year olds. Just to where in Michigan, the average deer you shoot is a year and a half old.
Yeah.
And we have 2 buck tags.
Right.
So that kind of changed my thinking on that. And then with the antler point restrictions, it was like, I still want that opportunity to harvest 2 deer. I don't want to kill a deer on October 15th, a buck on October 15th, and then have to sit there the rest of the season. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? That's not fun. And to be honest with you, I probably wouldn't hunt until November.
Yeah.
What I suggest, and I've been kind of open and honest about this for quite some time now. I've even said it on other podcasts. Is like, I think they should have a hybrid thing where it's like you get an archery tag and you get a rifle tag. Your archery tag is good for anything: a doe, a spike horn, a frickin' 180-inch giant,
Right.
whatever you want. That keeps people involved in archery hunting. Mm-hmm. That keeps archery hunting as a priority. Then you turn around and you have a rifle tag that is restricted, 3 or more on one side, or maybe I would start with 3 or more on one side.
That.
I would have no problem listening to an argument that was 4 or more on one side. Mm-hmm. Either way, nope. I wouldn't have an issue with that, because what that does is that protects a lot of your younger deer during the gun season.
Yep.
And then you turn around and you're still emphasizing an importance to get people in the woods during archery season. Mm-hmm. Now, if you do not fill that tag in rifle season, you can use it during muzzleloader or late archery with no restrictions. Only during the month of December. Now we have pretty much rifle season all the way through most of December now, so maybe that might change it. But
yeah.
My thinking isn't so much necessarily. We don't have the deer numbers up here. In southern Michigan, yes, dude, they're overrun with deer. You can't kill enough does down there. So it's a confusing thing, because we have basically 3 parts of Michigan. We have the southern part of the Lower Peninsula downstate, south of basically, I don't know, you want to say Grayling or West Branch, loaded with deer, ag country, a lot more private property, tons of does. We need to kill them. We need to kill a lot of them.
Yeah.
In the northern Lower Peninsula, where we live, there's pockets of areas that have a lot of deer. Like if you go over towards like Spar or something, or towards, Traverse City, Bel Air, there's going to be areas over there with a little bit more ag that have higher deer populations. But if you go 3 miles from there, there's going to be basically a wasteland. There's not going to be any deer. You know what I'm talking about.
All right.
It's hard to say, yeah, you can kill 10 deer. You can buy 10 doe tags today and use them wherever you want. That's not a good idea, because people are going to take those tags and use them where they're allowed to use them, and that just so happens to be public land.
Yeah.
People who need to eat or kill deer to supplement their diet, they're going to do it on mostly public land.
Yeah.
Because they're also the same people that probably don't afford a property to hunt and manage. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is common sense. So, and then you take and you move to the UP, where the wolves have completely decimated the population of deer. And, they have their own set of regulations up there on whether you get the one tag or the combo tag, but they're both restricted. I'm not sure. I don't know if that's changed in the past year or two, but that's the way it was. Honestly, I'd have no issue with the antler point restrictions if there was an opportunity in archery season to be able to kill that younger deer. Because I don't want hunting good for people that are meat hunters or just meat hunters. I don't want deer hunting to be good for people who are just trophy class deer hunting. I want it to be a good roundabout, all good for everyone.
All right.
That's honestly, like, I don't think anything needs to change. I really do not think anything needs to change. I think as hunters and as the trail cameras evolve and all this, I feel like we're being much more selective than all hunters were 15 years ago.
There's a natural progression towards being selective already without having to regulate hunters. Yep. I do agree with that.
And no offense to the older generation, but as we move forward, you know, our grandpas, they kill anything.
Yeah.
Spike horn walks in, they're shooting it.
Yeah.
And that's just how they were raised, you know, like if it's legal, they're going to kill it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So as we move forward, you know, we lose that generation. Year after year, we're losing more and more from that generation. So I feel like as we go forward, you know, it's the younger generation is more, we hunt different, you know.
Yeah. I agree. 100%.
Well, trail cameras, I mean, that's new. Like our dads.
Just
Our
seeing
dads
what's
are
out there,
passing
you know?
deer up that 5-6 years ago they wouldn't have passed up.
Yeah.
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 You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
our dads are a prime example. Like
Totally different people from fucking 6 years ago to now. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
It's a big difference.
But the deer that my dad passed up, you know what I mean, he wouldn't have been able, if he would have tagged out opening day, like if he didn't have my kid with him, he would have tagged out on opening day. Mm-hmm. But he didn't. 2 days later, he shot a big 9.
Nice one, yeah.
So our dads are proof that it's changed a little bit.
That begs the question, who won the buck pull at camp this year? Was that me?
I think it was you. Did you get your money?
No.
No.
It's at
Probably still
camp.
at camp.
Okay.
Yeah, nobody
Maybe I'll talk to Chad about
nobody has the balls to take anything from there, so it's still there.
I'm not going to go out there and be like, that's mine, you know.
No.
If someone says, hey, Alvin, you won this, here you go. All right,
Yeah,
cool.
it was between you or Chad, I do.
No,
believe.
I thought it had to be between me and your dad. Your dad killed a nice buck.
Yeah, but I think it went off, like they measured this year.
Yeah, they actually taped
They were
them
going
all,
to tape them.
Oh.
but I don't think there was anything.
Well, I mean, you know what mine was. Mine was 122 and some change.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't think
Like,
there was nothing. I think that's what it was. Is they were going to measure the years and a couple other ones, and I don't think they ever got measured.
yeah.
'Cause that's how we did it the year before too.
Yeah.
We took like the top 2 or 3, and what was it? Did I win the year before?
Yep.
I think you did.
Was that the year that I?
We both tagged out. And then the
No.
That was 2 years.
No,
ago.
the year
That was 2
before.
years
That was
ago.
2 years ago.
Oh,
Last
who
year
won
you
it
won it
last
with your
year?
muzzleloader buck.
Oh yeah.
Because hardly anybody killed anything.
No,
I didn't kill
no,
anything
I think
last year.
I didn't win it.
No, Chadley did.
Chad
did
won it with a
with
10
that
point.
older buck,
Oh, okay.
wasn't it?
Nope. Shit, I don't know. The older buck was this year.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
gnarly 7 point that he killed.
Yeah, I don't know who won it.
The year before, I'm sure it was that 10 point. He killed a 10 point the year before.
Yeah, he did.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that was a rough year for everybody that year.
23. Yeah, 23 was not a good
Yeah.
year.
Yeah, 23 was tough.
23.
God, that was hard,
It was
man.
rough. I had it
Yeah.
set in my head that I wasn't going to be killing no 2.5-year-olds. And what did I see? 1.5 and 2.5-year-olds.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, I hunted hard that year and
I hunted really
passed up
hard.
a couple bucks early in the season, and then there was just a giant
Yeah.
dry spell. It was just like, God.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, muzzleloader season. It wasn't even early in muzzleloader season when I killed that buck.
It was almost elk season,
It
dude.
was like the last day I could
Because
hunt
Scotty
before
went
elk
in to
season.
help you. Wasn't he up there looking
Yeah,
for
so
elk?
Scotty was going to scout for elk.
Yeah.
And, I called. I shot the deer right before dark, so he was already in the area looking for elk. And then after
Yeah.
dark, he came and helped me track it. And then we ended up backing out. And
Yeah,
coming
because
back
you
in.
messaged me. You're like, well, Scotty's up here. And I was like, all right, well, just let me know if you need a hand, because I would come up. But
Travis ended up going in
the
with
next
it.
morning,
next
him
morning,
and Travis
yeah.
went in.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what ended
So
the deer camp
that's-
episode.
not how you want to hunt to go, but it was fun, man. Like
So you have to do?
Travis.
I mean,
like obviously you wanna shoot the deer,
kill it.
kill it, celebrate, get it
Yeah.
out, the whole 9 yards. But that's not what happened.
No, he
You know,
foot.
the deer was still alive the next day.
Yep.
But what a frickin' rush!
Yeah.
You know, like you're taking this deer bed, 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 bed,
Uh-huh.
bed, and then you hear a stick break. Jumps up in front of you.
Yeah.
Here you got a muzzleloader. One shot, baby. One shot.
Going all Mel
Pull my-
Gibson,
I
the
pull my
Patriot on
gun
their
up and-
asses.
Of course, my scope is just frickin' full of snow. I had scope covers on,
Yeah.
but like we don't track deer here, so we're not like in the groove of pulling your gun up, shooting on running deer, you know.
Yeah.
Had scope covers on, but I didn't think to open them. So as soon as I pull my gun up, you know, the deer's at, 20 yards, 15, 20 yards.
Yeah.
Pull it up, I can't see nothing. So I end up turning my gun sideways and just looking down the barrel. Boom, boom.
That'll work.
Travis let him let some lead go.
Then I shoot, and obviously just one shot. He like rolls, hits the ground, and then goes to get back up again. So I like hit the dirt, and I'm like, hit him, Trav, hit him. Boom, shoots again, rolls.
Yeah.
You get a good rhythm, man. You can load a gun pretty fast.
Yeah. You loaded yours pretty quick there.
Damn straight.
Yeah.
Chad, that one in Ohio I shot.
You got that motion down real good, Charlie.
Hey. Easy
Short
now.
stroking it.
Short stroking it.
Chad was with me when I shot that Ohio buck, and I shoot, I load, and Chad's like, "You gonna load again?" I said, "Dude, this gun is loaded and ready to rock and roll again.
Yeah.
You let me know if he comes up out of that thicket right there." He's like, "You didn't load." I said, "This gun is loaded. I'm ready." Mm-hmm. And he filmed, and I was using that old camera. We go back to the house and we put it on the film there, and we're watching it, and Chad's filming the wrong deer, the one I shot, so we couldn't use the footage.
Yeah.
But he's like, "I want to see if you really did." And he's listening, and he's like, he's looking at the film, he's like, "Zoom in." And I zoom in, you could just see the little glimpse of me in the corner loading that gun. He's, "You did load that gun that fast." I said, "Yeah, I know." Yeah. So he's out in the garage trying to load his gun as quick as he can. he's
trying to get that figured out.
Oh, yeah.
You know what, though? That kind of brings up a good point, though, because I always wanted to touch on this. One thing that I take a pride in, like, in our group, is if we have a wounded deer, we do not give up on that thing.
Right.
No.
Yep.
I will say that, and I don't give a shit who says what. I will stand on that hill. Mm-hmm. Anytime you've shot a deer, or I've shot a deer, we do not give up on that thing. It will come down to a grid body search, and we will find that deer.
Travis won't
Travis
won't let it die.
Yeah.
He'll go to Ohio and back. And
he'll go find someone else's deer.
Right. He just loves to track.
He does.
I think he just likes it.
Yeah, he's good at it, too. But no, that is one thing that I've always, and maybe I haven't spoken enough about, is like tracking. Like, how many times, like my 6-point that I killed was, 17, 18? Mm-hmm. There was no blood. There was, Charlie, when we went in there that night, there was no blood. Yeah. And the next day, we had, 6, 7 of us out there grid searching, and we found it after
was
2 hours.
It was the stupidest spot. Like, we all overlooked it.
We walked right past the deer. It went 80, maybe not 80, maybe 100 and 120 yards from where I shot it.
Yeah.
But irregardless.
You and I walked right by it that night, opening night.
Yeah, it's the same thing with your buck that, you shot this year. Like, we didn't give up on that thing.
Yeah.
And I can't tell you how many times.
I would have bet anybody any money that we weren't going to find that deer.
That's kind of what I was thinking, too.
Any money.
I mean, how much further did you guys go after you and I took off? How much further?
Maybe 100 yards.
I don't even know if it was that.
It might not even been that.
You
stopped at that scrape right before the marsh. Isn't that where you and Charlie stopped?
We went out in the marsh.
I went in the marsh. I crossed the creek.
Okay.
And then
that's where we found last blood.
Yep.
Or last
blood. So, Charlie, right where you would have crossed that creek, it was to the right, maybe 60 yards into the woods.
Shit.
Yeah. See, me, Travis, and Jake took it is we were kind of going along that path, and then we're like, hey, let's just swing up around, and cover this. And so Travis was out by the edge of the marsh. Jake was a little bit into the woods, and I was way deep into the woods.
Did Travis's nose find it? Is Travis the one that walked up on it?
No, I'm the one that found it.
Alvin.
No shit.
I'm the one that found it.
Wow.
Well,
everyone assumed Travis found it. Everyone's like, Travis out tracking track.
I remember I'm like, dude, I said, just let him run with it. It's like, I don't think Travis found it. But
everybody did at camp too.
Yeah. What I found was it was like an area that was all tore up. It looked like there was a bait pile there, and I'm like, what is going on here? And I started seeing some deer hair, and I'm like, uh-oh. And I watched the drag marks, and I'm like, I turned the camera on. You can see it in the GoPro. when I do the deer camp footage, like I literally turn the camera on and I'm like, Jake, I found your deer. Because I could see it like, 30 yards up ahead. And I'm like, coyotes must have I think the coyotes got a hold of it when it was pretty much, it was still alive, but it was like, had nothing left.
Yeah.
So when we first got there, we got to his stand, there was coyotes. I told him, I said, you hear that? There's coyotes straight out that way. He's like, well, he went this way. So we ended up starting that way, but there was coyotes straight out where his tree stand was, and he's explaining where we're going to go. I said, there's coyotes that way right now. And that's the reason we hit that scrape, and we're like, let's walk out on the edge of the marsh. That's when he found that blood.
Yep.
But we never heard him. After the second we were there, got to his stand, he's explaining to me, showing me, we're going to walk through here, and that's where I shot, and that's where we heard the coyotes. We never heard them after that.
Right.
So.
Yeah, that's where it was at. And what's crazy, too, is, like, I remember we talked about that. We're like, how did it not bleed more? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that just blew my mind.
How far it was opened up.
Yeah, it was opened in both, because it was a low hit. But it blew
open.
right through both shoulders.
Bled.
Yeah, and it didn't. And
both legs were broke.
Yeah.
Both front leg bones were broke.
Yeah. The deer wasn't going to go far.
How was it not pushing, like tracking it the first?
No idea.
What did we take it? 200 yards?
Yeah.
Probably
it wasn't not
200
easy.
Up
yards.
around that ridge down in
just kind of made a loop and around.
Yep.
Why wasn't it pushing? Like, it wasn't pushing leaves or nothing. Like, it was running.
Yeah.
On all fours running with
The
busted front
scrape.
legs.
Did he show you the scrape? Like, there was
Yeah.
literally a scrape. And
Well,
then
I think
blood.
is what that was. I think that
Is him
deer
stopping?
I think that deer, the buck I shot, walked through the scrape.
Yeah.
And some point throughout the middle of the day, another
deer
buck
fucking
came in
hit the scrape.
and hit the scrape.
I'm like, dude, your buck's hitting your scrape again. You have a bad sign of bucks getting shot.
That happened one night. Man,
Yeah,
dude.
when I hit that
I
buck
told
with my
him.
bow.
I
my
said, well,
God.
you got another buck like that.
Yeah.
Weren't we out till like 2 o'clock in the morning that night?
Yeah.
Me, you, and Charlie. We were looking for that buck.
And the
That
buck
was
just
the
kept hitting
first
the
ever
scrapes.
buck I lost with a bow.
Yeah.
First ever buck I lost with a bow.
And it wasn't bad blood either.
No, it was
Yeah.
good blood in each scrape.
Yeah, and every
Like, it's
time it come up to a scrape, we're like, there's blood next to the scrape and
'Cause he
everything.
was
I'm like, this deer doesn't even think it's dying.
Yeah.
He's just
That's what I told
business as usual.
I said, another one of these Jake bucks that hit scrapes and bleeding all at the same time.
Seriously. I don't know. Yeah, that
Yeah.
was pretty crazy, though.
But the reason we never found a bed is because his front legs were broke, and I don't think he wanted to lay down.
No.
Second he laid down, he'd have been.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was just wild, man. Like,
And then the second
Dang.
buck he shot,
Yeah.
the footage of that is gonna be that's insane the way it dies.
But I'll tell
Yeah,
you
that
what,
was cool.
I don't know if you guys have been on other tracking jobs with other people that maybe aren't like as close.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like
yeah,
they're pretty quick to want to. Well, maybe
Yeah.
Oh, I think it'll be all right. You know, it's
98% of people would
Yeah.
have let
Yeah.
that deer go to waste.
You're exactly right, and I think I remember that day, and there's been plenty other times where we've been tracking together and other people have found it, but it's just like I don't know, like I feel like when I'm like with you and we're tracking a deer, it's like I'm almost reinforced to keep going further.
Mm-hmm.
Like let's go look for the next spot. Remember that buck that Hunter messed up on?
Yeah,
Yeah, so it was like 2 years ago.
yeah,
I mean, dude, like there was enough blood there to keep us there
yeah.
and motivated, but it was like, I mean, I don't know, I can't remember how far we took that thing, but it was just like, if it's not at least trying to lay down or stop where you get those pools of blood,
Yep.
something's not right. It's more like a muscle hit at that
Yep.
point.
Shoulder hit for sure.
Shoulder, yeah.
We've seen that many times.
Yeah.
Good old broadhead to the front shoulder, they'll bleed good.
Why do you gotta bring that stuff up? Why do you
'Cause
gotta
it
bring stuff
happens.
up like that?
Oh, you
It
like the
happens.
front shoulders? You like them front shoulders, don't you?
I should have like 3 more on the wall because of the damn shoulders.
Hey, can't
That's
blame-
actually why I
can't blame the
started.
shoulder, Charlie.
That's actually why I
the
started
person
using a fixed blade broadhead. For the longest time, I used those Montex because
See, that's what's crazy. That buck
Yeah.
you helped me track that was hitting them scrapes was the very first time I switched from So I started shooting thunderheads because that's what our dad shot.
Yep.
Them when I first started bow hunting, I was pulling like 35, 40 pounds,
Yep.
a little Parker bow. So I shot them 85 grain Thunderheads. And then when the Rages came out, I switched to Rage. Used those all the way up till I lost that buck with the G5 Montex. That was the first deer I lost with a bow.
Right.
Yep. And went back to Rage, and I
forgot that was the Monte. I used Rage this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know.
I use Swackers.
I like those Rage 2 blades. I know a lot of people, their little thing about this whole fixed blade versus expandables is like, well, if you don't use fixed blades, you don't really know how to tune a bow.
Hey.
I could give a shit less about tuning a fucking bow. I want to be able to kill a deer.
Yeah,
I'm
I
out there to
don't care.
kill a deer. I'm not out there to shoot, quarter-inch groups at 300 or, at 30 yards or whatever.
Yeah.
That's not my gig. That's not my thing. I understand that's important to some people, and
Not
that's
me.
great, but that's
I
not me.
I think you just shoot what you want to shoot.
I want to
you know what
shoot
I
a
mean?
deer, and I want it to bleed out within
Right.
seconds.
Yep.
Yes.
And a Rage 2 blade does that if you put it in
Agreed.
the right spot.
Yeah.
And I mean, realistically, any broadhead's going to do that.
Dude, I took a deer one time, peeled it right through the front shoulder with a Rage 2 blade broadhead.
Yeah.
And it was quartering to me. And I tried to tuck it in there tight, right up tight to the shoulder blade. And ended up shooting forward just a little bit. Hit the shoulder blade. But my arrow just disappeared.
Yeah.
I was still shooting that old monster bow that I got from you.
Yeah.
And that thing frickin', dude,
That
them
thing
bows.
flied.
I wish they would just go
Frickin'
back out with it.
God.
Those were nice bows.
If I could have kept that bow shooting smooth, like it was to the point to where
Yeah.
the cams, limbs, everything was just shot.
I was at
and
least 8 years old at that point, maybe 10.
Yeah, I hunted with it for at least
Yeah.
8 years, maybe 10 years.
Yeah.
Well, this is only my second year without it. I killed a ton of deer with that bow, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I watched the arrow just disappear, and I got nervous because I knew I hit forward,
Yeah.
and I didn't think the arrow should have frickin' blew all the way through. But I watched the deer peel, go up this ridge, and then just disappear. I'm like, man, like it looked good, but I don't know why. I almost thought maybe I went too far forward,
Yeah.
and it like went through the brisket because the arrow just frickin' disappeared.
Yeah.
And it didn't really like make a huge thud or anything, like I didn't remember hearing a big loud thud.
Nope.
Go down there, arrows completely buried. We had all white snow, like brand new white. This was one of the years that I wasn't filming. I'd started filming and then like took a year off from filming. You guys were in Ohio.
2019.
Yeah.
It snowed. We got like 8 inches of snow
Yeah.
right in the end of October or early November.
That's the year I killed that
The
buck
big
right
one.
there. I didn't even pick up a camera that year.
Yeah, it was. So go down there, grab the arrow. Got a hold of your cousin, James, Jammer. And we go out there. Deer piled up, 100 yards away.
Yeah.
And sure enough, dude, like smack dab. It would have been this shoulder, quartering to me. I mean, right through the frickin' shoulder bone.
Yeah.
Came out like right here. And the one blade was broke, but I mean, still intact. The broadhead was still intact. You couldn't have reused it, but anybody that says you can't shoot through a shoulder blade with a Rage is flat full of shit.
Yeah. And I've shot through a couple shoulders since.
And it wasn't it wasn't a real heavy arrow neither. I don't remember what I was shooting for an arrow, but
I use the FMJs.
Your
wasn't-
arrow setup this year was heavier than mine.
6mm.
this year, yeah.
Yeah. I
But
was
back
surprised.
then, the heavy arrow thing wasn't really.
No.
This was
We-
4
I-
years ago.
we just
5
do it
years
just
ago.
to-
Whenever you killed that, how long ago was that?
That was 2019.
So 6 years ago that
6 years
was.
ago.
Well, we really don't care about the weight. We were just checking, making sure all our arrows were the same. And his was just a little bit heavier with the
Yeah.
Rage on there. Yeah, the Rage, believe it or not,
I don't give a shit what people say, dude. I don't care if it's mainstream or whatever and people want to veer away. A Rage 2 blade is a wicked frickin' broadhead.
Yeah.
his
It is a
broadheads,
wicked broadhead.
all three broadheads measured were
They got it
weighed the
figured out.
same. Yeah.
They got it figured out. And there's a bunch of others, don't get me wrong. Like, I've
You
used
got
some
to
of
think,
the...
dude, like, it was such a popular broadhead.
Yes.
Like, so many people were shooting that broadhead.
Yes.
Yes,
gonna be
a
fails.
lot of deer have been found.
A lot of bad hunters have
with
shot.
a Rage broadhead in the shoulder. Somebody else kills a deer in gun season, it's got a Rage broadhead in its shoulder.
Yeah.
Well,
That's gonna happen when there's who knows how many hundreds of thousand people shooting a 2-blade rage broadhead.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I did the Levi Morgan Swacker one this past year with my kill zone, and 2 different broadheads shot the exact same way.
Yeah.
And I love that Swacker Levi Morgan this year on that Ohio buck.
Now, I did like that sick archery or sick broadheads, the ones that I killed that doe with. That was a 2-blade. It was vented, though. I had meant to get the ones, because I asked Kevin about this. I messaged him one day. I said, hey.
2 seasons ago, isn't that how
it was 2 seasons ago. So I messaged him about that. I'm like, hey, I kind of like the idea of that broadhead. You know, it's got the bleeders in it, but it was day 6. Or was it day 6? Or
Day 6, I do believe.
Okay. So that's when he was using, but that was not vented. I went to Jay's and I'm like, I didn't even, I wasn't exactly sure what they were, but I kind of wanted to experiment with that 2-blade, I ended up getting the vented ones, but they had the bleeders on it. And I hit, so that doe, I was at my squirrel camp. I showed Charlie where I shot that. Pretty good little spot. Like, if you wanted to go out and you had a good frickin' south or even a southwest wind, you're fine.
I think I went there with you.
No, I don't think you did.
It's just down
was
where
with
Tony?
That was with Tony. That's a good spot, too. That's always a good doe killing spot. I've hunted there a handful of times. Tony's hunted there a handful of times. Further to the south, so the second gas well.
Got it.
Okay. Just further
past
south
where your
of
dad
that.
was.
Yeah, further south of that. I had a bear bait in there once. We killed one bear out of there. But it was.
Is that where we went and ran the
No, see that
bobcat for Tommy's?
No. That was an interesting night too. But this was a bit further north, and it's just a good doe killing spot. Like I always see deer when I hunt there. I've only shot one out of that specific spot, but multiple in other areas within there, and it's just always been a good spot. But the one you're talking about with Tommy there, holy hell, was that a night?
That was fun.
Talk about not giving up on the frickin' blood track.
Yeah.
We spent the night in the frickin' swamp that night. We
Yeah.
ended up, we started out at Green's Landing, went all the way through, followed the dog track and the bear all the way through there, ended up at Tyrolean Hills at 7:30 in the morning. Your dad had to pick us up. We spent the night in the swamp that night. It was the middle of October, too.
Yeah. Daylight.
Yeah.
Till daylight.
Right till daylight. Sun was
Dad
coming up,
come
and we were
picked us
walking
up.
up the Tyrolean Hills, frickin'.
Yeah, I was on the south side of Traverse City when you called me. I'm like,
Yeah, we called your dad.
I got
Luckily,
called
he
out.
answered.
Yep.
So
That was a good night.
Yeah, we gave her hell. Oh, Tommy, he was like, what did I get myself
He's like,
into?
dude, he was ready to be done with that track an hour into it.
Yeah.
And we're like, no, we're not giving up that easily.
Old Nico, he wasn't ready to quit.
Hey, guys, I found me something over here. Don't mind me. I'm going to go for a run.
wrong breed.
We're not looking for cats. Yeah.
Right on.
All right, guys. You guys are probably tired, ready to get to bed.
Yeah.
Good talk. Appreciate it. Appreciate you coming over and hashing it out.
So what do we got coming up? We got
Turkey season coming up. I still got to get some otter traps out. I got a few more weeks of that. I want to get some otter traps out. I know you're not trapping this year.
I got a spot. If you want to trap beaver, a buddy of Scott's, if I can't get to him, right here, it'd be Woder's old place.
Oh, okay.
I guess the beaver's got it flooded up right in his backyard there.
Oh, lovely.
I know.
So if I can't get to him, it'd be a good spot to
Okay.
go trap some beaver this spring if you want to get to it.
All right. Yeah. I'll get down on that.
What else?
We got the Elks dinner coming up.
Elks dinner coming up. That's
Yep, we got that.
April 12th.
April 12th, we got the
Less than a
Michigan
month
Country
away.
Association banquet.
Yep.
Just a month away.
I think I'll throw that in the intro, too, just that way people can hear it twice.
I think
And
we
then,
should do a...
Oh, yeah. Charlie, I'll let you do that. I really, you sent this to me, and I really want to get this out there for everyone listening. I'll probably put this in the intro, too.
Okay. So if anybody is in the hunting world knows who Dan Infalt is, well, his son just had a bad accident back in Christmas time. He was trying to keep it private, but he's asking for a little bit of help with his family in the hunting crew.
Yep.
So if anybody can get on his page, he's got it right in there. You can help his son. You can donate towards his fun and everything.
Has he got a GoFundMe or
yeah,
something?
GoFundMe
Okay.
page,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, he's just having some issues. He's still in the hospital, battling a few things. So
Yeah.
if anybody has the time to reach out and
Yeah.
give a hand, this would be the time. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Absolutely. I mean,
Dan's old school, so I mean, I don't think if he was asking for help, it's probably something serious.
yeah. Absolutely.
So
And I know and partnering with them and stuff, like I definitely appreciate them. And if any of you out there can do anything to help support that, Dan's been a great he's been a great role model for this industry. And when our own are in need, we step up and help them.
and there's a lot of people that has stepped up. So
Yeah.
I mean, we ain't much,
Yeah.
but thank you for everybody's help, and
Yeah.
hopefully you reach out and. Like I said, go right on Dan Infaults. He's got 2 different pages, and then I think Mario shared it. Hunting Beast has shared it. We're gonna share it. And
Yeah, we'll get it up on our Facebook. I don't know if we'll get it up on the Facebook page. So if you get a chance, go back and take a look at that. And if you can help out by any means, I mean, I'm sure anything would help at this point. But I know we're gonna get together and we're gonna put something in there and help for their cause. Definitely, in the hunting industry in itself, or even in this world of public land hunting or mobile, whatever you want to call it, I mean, we've always, even as a local, being here living locally in a small town, like one thing that's cool is like everyone gets up and helps each other. We have benefit dinners and stuff like that, and everyone's there to help each other, whenever we're in circumstances like that. So I just ask that if anybody has the, if you're able to, please, extend a helping hand to that in any way that you can. So
yeah, any amount is helpful.
yeah,
Small,
absolutely.
big.
They're good people, and and like I said, like you hit the nail on the head. If it's to that point where they're asking for help, it's because they probably need it at this point. So
We
it's
appreciate
something
it.
for everyone to consider.
Good note.
Yeah, I think that's a good place to leave it.
Yeah.
All right. Stay wild, everyone. Till next week.